Hello everyone and welcome to the second video in a choosing your Valorant main series. Short videos that go over the kit of one hero at a time, and I'm going to break down their strengths, weaknesses, and general playstyles so that you can decide if said hero is right for you come beta release. If you missed the Jet video, go check it out, but all that being said, in this video, we're going to be breaking down the fiery boy himself, Phoenix. But before we get into that, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, and it goes a long way to helping make this channel something real. Now, jumping right into it, Phoenix is an incredibly powerful character who has space creation abilities that can create opportunities for him and his team. Think of space like areas on the map that you want to hold and contest to give you positional advantage. I'm going to be getting more into that later, but so you fully understand Phoenix playstyle, let's break down each ability one at a time so that you get a better sense of how each ability will be used. So, Phoenix's signature ability, Curveball, is something you may recognize from other FPS shooters. It creates a flash of light that blinds all who look at it. This is basically a flashbang. Unlike flashbangs, this can be curved left and right, which actually give it a little bit of finesse, unlike a regular flashbang. Now, the advantages of flash are known to all who play CSGO or most shooters. You can use it to push corners, change positions. It's an incredibly versatile tool, and every team will appreciate this ability. The fact that this is a Phoenix specific ability, and he's the only one with a flashbang, gives you a special sort of advantage, and Phoenix players will often be defined by just how good they master this ability. Now, moving on to the next ability on the list, we have Phoenix's Hot Hands. Hot Hands is a thrown projectile that explodes, creating damage-dealing fire that can zone away enemies that stays on the ground, but if Phoenix himself stands in it, it actually heals him. This is incredible for fleshing out flankers and creating space or better positioning opportunities. Another brilliant aspect of this is that in close quarters combat, or CQC, you could throw this and push in aggressively. The damage it deals, coupled with the self-heal, gives you a slight amount of sustain that can help you win matchups or 1v1s. You could also set up scenarios where you use this to flush out enemies who are camping and wait for them to rout away and punish them. This super powered Molotov cocktail has great utility for not only you but your team as well. Now, moving on to the next basic ability on the list, it's Phoenix's Blaze. Now, Blaze is a turnable flame wall that blocks line of sight and does damage to all who pass through it. This is another ability in Phoenix's kit that is a positioning denial based ability. Blocking off line of sight can allow your team to route clearly and safely, and also disincentivizes enemies from pushing through your wall. The damage it deals only emphasizes that concept and makes it feel like an actual physical wall where it's dangerous to push through and you're de-incentivized from pushing through it altogether. This is another very high impact ability because you can easily route through chokes or control area of the maps better when you have an ability like this that can prevent enemies from pushing, deny them space, and overall it's an extremely powerful team-centric ability. Now, last up on our list is Phoenix's ultimate, Run It Back. Now, this is a really crazy ability where you mark the position that you are currently, and then during a fixed amount of time, you can run in, and if you die, you'll respawn at said location with full health, but it will also automatically happen if the time runs out. It's an ability that is kind of strange with Phoenix's kit because it doesn't really play to the utility aspect, but there are ways that it actually brings more utility to the table, which I'm going to break down right now. The thing about Run It Back is you could definitely play hyper aggressive and try to secure some kills. You get to play recklessly, risk-free. The ability to play with confidence and be aggressive with confidence is incredibly underrated. Many players default to a passive playstyle when respawns are long or non-existent and getting punished is high. They definitely don't want to just wait all this time, so they default to a more passive playstyle, a more safe playstyle. But if you can't get punished with something like Run It Back, the aggressive nature that you're going to bring to the table, that confidence, can actually give you a leg up. I mean, if you're just running in, balls to the wall, run into a room, and you're just trying to shotgun someone or shoot someone right in the face, this can be incredibly surprising, and that level of confidence can actually get you a lot of value. Now, what I really like about this ability is the fact that even if you die, you can still deal damage to enemies, and you can gain tons of precious information about enemy positions, which you can relay to your team. Then you can come back to your team, and then you can create a game plan to push an objective or defend one. Now, let's really quickly break down some pros and cons and then the general playstyle of Phoenix to see whether he is a fit for you. So firstly, for the pros of Phoenix. The pros is he has incredible space creation. We've talked about that before. Allows you to take amazing positions. he also gives your team informational advantage. Being able to flash an enemy or wall them off, you can prevent the enemy from accessing information about your team and where you're routing to. And then lastly, he has a very, very high impact team-based kit. He's going to be really powerful at the high levels. I know this for a fact. There's no way that Phoenix isn't a staple in every single team composition. He's just that powerful, and when synergized with a team full of calms, he's going to be even better. Now let's talk about some of the cons, because there are some cons with this character in your typical ranked game of Valorant. So the cons are, he is very synergy based to give value. Unlike something like Jett, who kind of brings a lot of value to the table with her abilities just solo, he needs to relay a lot of information to his team. He needs to set up a lot of plays. He doesn't want to flash his teammates. So it's synergy based, and eventually the community is going to get attuned to Phoenix's abilities, and they're going to be able to play around you much better, take the things that you gathered much better. But right off the bat, a synergistic character is going to be a little hard to play when everyone is just trying the game for the first time. No one really knows exactly what to do. It's going to be hard to give value. The second con I have for Phoenix is he doesn't really have much mobility. Now, this is just a small con, but I think mobility is incredibly powerful, and I know quite a few characters have mobility, but the fact that he doesn't have it isn't a huge mark against him. It's just something that you need to keep in mind. If you're in a 1v1 against something like Jett, it's probably going to be a disadvantage for you because movement is incredibly powerful, like I've reiterated throughout this video and in the past. And then the last con is just Jett is very difficult to use. I think he's going to be a very hard character to master. All these different utility-based abilities have specific ways that you can use them, but it really relies on map knowledge, enemy character matchups, and all these things. Understanding where a player will peek from, how they'll route, where they're going to flank from, where they're camping. All these things are things you need to know to utilize his kit to the best effectiveness. And for a giant amount of time when the game first comes out, we're not going to know all these things. So the fact is, it's going to be really difficult to use, but that might be even more of a reason to start playing him now, because I think that Phoenix is probably going to be a very powerful character when people start to master him. And if you can get a jump start on that, start learning him early, you can really utilize that to start winning tons of games when the rank system is fully fleshed out. You can make a name for yourself right off the bat. Now let's culminate all of our knowledge based on the abilities and his pros and cons to give you a perfect picture of whether or not he'll be your main. He'll be the perfect main. So Phoenix is not a one-man army. He doesn't really provide that many 1v1 abilities. Flashbang can be used aggressively, but in general, Phoenix doesn't have mobility. He doesn't have damage dealing abilities. Most of his abilities are based on utility. But the thing about Phoenix is he provides something very useful when looked at the context of a 5v5 tac shooter. Phoenix is an addition everyone would want on their team. He has a ton of depth, and mastering him will be hard work, but it will pay off by giving you and your team seemingly unfair advantages over the course of a game. If you are a technical player, a tactician, you like to think about the mindset of enemies and how to outplay them on a mental level, using your knowledge about the game to your advantage over the vast majority of enemies, then Phoenix is for you. On top of that, his style is pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie. Well, this wraps up our Phoenix main guide. Please smash that like and subscribe button. We're going to be covering all 8 characters and tons of coaching content about Valorant on this channel, so don't miss out. This is all I have for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and until next time.